Okay, today I'm going to show you how to make this flower, except we're going to make it just a little bit smaller so we can put it on a card. And what you need to get started is some double-sided paper. I'm going to show you using this cardstock that's double-sided from Susan Wexler. And I have it cut here into strips. You need a strip that's 2 inches wide, one that's 1 3/4 inches wide, a 1 1/2, and a 3/4 inch one. You also are going to need a hot glue gun. I have mine warming up, so if you're following along, you might want to get your hot glue gun warming up. And we're also going to be using some glitter, some Donna Salazar mixed media chalks ink, and a couple of smooch spritzes. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take that small strip. This is going to end up being the center of your flower right here. And all you're going to do is free-handed cut it into scallops like this. I'm not going to use the whole strip, so I'm going to do about half, even though I don't think I'm even going to use that much. Okay. And then set that aside. The next thing we're going to do is make the petals. Each one of these petals is cut individually, which looks like a lot of work, but it's actually not as bad as it looks. So we're going to take the largest strip and just draw a petal on it. And it's real easy. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just draw an elongated petal and cut it out. Voila. And we're going to make 6 of those large petals. You can use your same petal and trace it, or you can just freehand it, whatever you prefer to do. Okay, now we have 6 large petals. And we're going to do the same thing with the medium and small strips, filling out, making sure that your petal is as tall as the strip. And we're going to have 4 medium petals and 4 small petals. Okay, I've cut out all my petals now, and I also have this extra piece of paper that we're going to use on the bottom of the flower to hold it all together. That was just an extra piece from the end of the medium strip since I didn't use the whole strip up. So the next thing we're going to do is lay out all the petals. We have to make them curl them and make them look like petals, basically. And because this paper is so strong and sturdy, I'm going to mist it first with some of this vanilla shimmer smooch spritz to just get it a little bit wet and a little bit shimmery. And you'll also notice I have this paper down on my desk so I don't make a big mess. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is, just for fun, I'm going to add a little bit of River Mossy to them. And that adds a little bit of shimmer and a little bit of it makes it a little bit more blue-green. And then what I'm going to do, this is the fun part where we get to get messy, is I'm going to squish them all up like this. Just scrunch them. There's no rhyme or reason here. And then I'm going to go back and curl them. Curl each one. I'm just using a paintbrush. You can use whatever you have. Or you can just do it by hand if you want, but I find it easier to wrap it around something. And that gives them that nice curled look. Now you see that I have all my petals curled, and I've been keeping them together a little bit here so that I have my mediums here, my larges over here. I just curled this one into a spiral just to make it easier to manipulate because it's going to start to dry. Next I'm going to take this mixed media chalks ink in Blue Jay, and I'm just going to ink the edges. just for a little bit of definition. I'm going to ink the edges of all the petals and of the center. Now I have all the petals inked, and I also inked both sides of this center since it's going to be curled. And I've gotten out my glue stick and my sprinkles. The next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glitter right over top of where I inked the edges. I'm just going to run my glue stick along the edge and dip it in the glitter. And I'm going to repeat that on every petal and on the center. Okay, now I have all my petals and my center section glittered. I am not waiting for it to dry. You can if you'd like to. But what I'm going to do is lay out the petals so I can get an idea for how big the flower is going to be. I'm going to want to overlap them just a little bit. I'm going to take the glue gun and put a circle of glue, hot glue, on the this little paper that I'm going to build the flower on. And I'm going to make the circle about the same size as the one that's just with the petals sitting there. And then I'm just going to add the petals. That's the great thing about hot glue. You can just, it dries fast and you can just put some more on if you didn't have enough the first time. So that's the first layer, and that's the hard layer. The rest of the layers get a little easier after that. I'm just going to add the glue here in the middle again. And then I'm going to add the medium-sized petals so that they're off center from the big petals. And then finally the little petals, more glue. A lot of glue. We don't want anything to fall out. Now I'm going to take this center strip and roll it and just sort of bunch it to create petals where the scallops are. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to put another dollop of glue in the middle because the other glue there is kind of getting dry. And I'm going to put this right down in the center. And trim the excess off. And then I'm going to fluff up the petals that I just mushed down. Now that I've finished the flower, I'm going to show you how to put together the card. What I have here is a 5x7 card made out of craft colored cardstock. And I cut the same paper that I made the flower out of to cover the front of the 5x7 card. And then I'm going to put another piece of craft on top of it like that. I'm going to round just the one corner of this before I adhere it down right there. I'm going to add this right here. I die cut this leaf with a Spellbinder's die, and I'm just going to add that like that after I stamp my sentiment. I'm going to use the Congratulations stamp from this Hero Arts set. I'm going to use the same blue ink that I used on the flower. And then I can add some more hot glue. And voila, it's done. Now you can make this flower in any different size depending on the size of the petals. Just keep the ratio the same, or make them all an inch bigger or a quarter inch smaller. You can see the one that I made initially was a little bit bigger. That was because every petal was about a quarter inch larger, and it made the flower, I don't know, about an inch bigger.